Breaking news: major changes are on the horizon for millions of people across the UK who currently receive government benefits. The Department for Work and Pensions, better known as the DWP, is set to receive brand new powers that will significantly increase how they monitor and investigate the financial status of benefit claimants. Before we dive into the full story and what this could mean for you or your loved ones, make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest updates on benefits, finance, and government policy changes. Your subscription helps us keep delivering accurate, timely information without the noise. Now, let's get into what's actually changing and why it matters. The UK government is preparing to introduce a powerful piece of legislation called the Public Authorities, Fraud, Error and Debt Bill, which is expected to come into effect starting in April 2026. With a full rollout planned by 2031, this bill is designed to give the DWP more authority to tackle benefit fraud and overpayment errors, which cost taxpayers hundreds of millions of pounds every year. So, what exactly are these powers? Essentially, the DWP will be working more closely with banks and financial institutions to flag any suspicious financial activity that may indicate someone is no longer eligible for certain types of benefits. But before panic sets in, it's important to note, this isn't about spying on everyone's spending habits or reading through every bank transaction. The system is being designed to target only specific warning signs, not individual daily purchases. Here's how it works. The new powers allow the DWP to send what's called an eligibility verification notice to banks. This notice will include specific criteria or eligibility indicators related to the benefit someone is receiving. The bank will then check its data to see if the customer's account matches any of these red flags, like having savings over £16,000, which could disqualify someone from receiving universal credit. If the bank finds that the account may breach eligibility rules, only then will the DWP consider taking a closer look. This is not a mass surveillance tactic, it's more like a filter that highlights only the accounts that might need further investigation. Now, let's be clear, at this stage, no full bank statements or personal transaction histories will be shared unless further steps are taken by the DWP based on the flagged data. The whole point is to act before fraud or overpayment happens, not after. So, who's most likely to be affected by this change? The system is primarily focused on people receiving means-tested benefits. These are benefits where your eligibility depends on how much income or savings you have. If you're receiving one of these, it's important to stay updated and make sure your financial records are accurate and up to date. Universal credit for people on low income or out of work. Housing benefit to help with rent if you're on a low income. Income support, financial help for those not in full-time work. Income-based job seekers allowance, JSA, for those actively seeking employment. Income-related employment and support allowance, ESA, for those unable to work due to health issues. Council tax support to help with your local council tax bill. Tax credits including both working tax credit and child tax credit, though many are now moving to universal credit. Pension credit for people over state pension age with limited income. If you're on any of these benefits, especially if your financial situation changes often, these checks could potentially apply to you. The DWP has said the goal here is not to penalize people unnecessarily. Instead, it's about making sure the right people get the right support, and that the system isn't being exploited. Fraud and overpayments are a significant issue. In fact, it's estimated that over £8 billion was lost to benefit fraud and error in recent years, and the new system could save up to £940 million over the next 5 years alone. To protect vulnerable individuals, the government is planning a test-and-learn approach. This means the powers won't be applied overnight or across the board. Instead, they'll be rolled out gradually and tested thoroughly to avoid mistakes or unfair consequences. Right now, the DWP is only allowed to request specific financial information from banks if they already have reasonable suspicion of fraud. But under the new rules, this will change. Banks will be proactively involved in spotting early signs of potential fraud based on data patterns and account activity, not just waiting for the DWP to ask. It's important to note, the DWP is not going to start automatically withdrawing money from your account. That kind of action would still require legal processes and justifications. However, the new system may eventually make it easier to reclaim funds that have been incorrectly paid without always needing to go through lengthy court procedures. So, why is all of this happening now? The government has been under pressure to improve the integrity of the benefits system. Reports from the National Audit Office and parliamentary committees have highlighted how digital tools and data sharing can improve fraud prevention. The idea is to move from a reactive system where fraud is often discovered too late to a preventative one, where issues are spotted early and fixed fast. According to official government sources, using advanced data matching algorithms is one of the most effective ways to identify when someone might be receiving money they're not entitled to, whether intentionally or by accident. One common scenario is when someone forgets to report a change in their financial situation, like a pay rise or a large one-off deposit. These might seem harmless, but they can affect your benefit eligibility and lead to unintentional overpayments. With the new system, these changes can be picked up much earlier, which could protect claimants from building up large, stressful debts they'll need to repay later. At the same time, concerns have been raised particularly around privacy and data protection. Civil rights groups and privacy advocates want clear safeguards in place to prevent misuse of data. The DWP has responded by committing to strict data handling standards, limited access, and legal accountability for misuse. What does all this mean for you? If you're claiming a benefit that could be affected, the best course of action is to keep your financial records accurate, report changes promptly, and stay informed about the rollout of these powers over the next few years. The DWP has promised that more detailed guidance will be issued well before 2026, and public consultations may shape how the policy is implemented. In the meantime, this is not a cause for panic. For the majority of honest claimants, there's nothing to worry about. This new system is being designed to catch serious fraud, not punish people for everyday banking activity or innocent mistakes. But awareness is key, and staying updated will help you avoid future issues. Let's recap the key points. Starting from April 2026, the DWP will begin rolling out new powers to work with banks and monitor accounts that receive means-tested benefits. Banks won't give full access to all transactions, but they will flag accounts that appear to breach benefit eligibility rules, such as having over the allowable savings limit. The changes will mainly affect claimants on universal credit, housing benefit, income support, JSA, ESA, council tax support, tax credits, and pension credit. This is part of a larger plan to reduce benefit fraud, which currently costs the country billions of pounds. The system will be introduced gradually, using a cautious, test-and-learn model. Safeguards will be put in place to ensure privacy and protect vulnerable groups. If your circumstances change, always update the DWP as soon as possible to avoid issues. For most honest claimants, this change won't affect your benefits, but it's essential to stay informed. So, that's the full breakdown of how the DWP's upcoming bank account checks will work, who will be affected, and what you can do to prepare. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll be posting regular updates as this policy develops and sharing useful guides to help you manage your benefits safely and confidently. Thanks for watching, and stay informed.